The next thing to do, ladies and gentlemen, is start the actual design of the house. Okay. So, since you never designed a house before, at least I don't think you ever have, you need to know an idea of home room sizes. Okay. So, this is a worksheet that's already on the Google Drive, on the Classroom. I'm sorry. You'll see a list of typical room sizes. Again, this is not, how can I say it? It doesn't have to be these sizes, but the thing is that you've never designed a house before. So let's say, oh, I want to include the master bedroom. Well, how big is a typical master bedroom? Okay, well there you go. It's 12 feet by 14 feet. It's typical. Okay, can it be bigger than this? Yeah, of course it can. Sure, you can make it as big as you want. Can it be smaller than this? Yes, not a problem. Once again, this is just an idea of room sizes for master bedrooms, dining areas, kitchens, bathrooms. Okay, walk-in closets, coat closets. So most rooms are listed on this list, but it's still not everything. But at least it's just to kind of give you an idea of how big these rooms are going to be. Okay. The other thing to remember too is we have some square footage to be aware of. In other words, on your past video, I asked you guys to calculate the amount of square feet. So you should, in your mind, have the amount of square feet of the size of your home. Okay, and then that goes in together with what's going to be your site plan. The next video I'm going to create for you is how to draw up the site plan, at least how to draw the property line in Revit, because I'm going to want you guys to sketch it. I want you to sketch it on pencil and paper. So we're not going to be using the computer for a few days until we come up with a good sketch to scale of your house. Now, the reason we're doing that is because in real life, you have a lot. You're going to be designing a house on a piece of property. You don't necessarily have to, but most of the time that's what happens is that you're going to design it on a piece of property. It's a piece of property that you bought, maybe your parents own or something, whatever the case may be. But then you got to use the reality of it. And the reason we want to do that is because on that piece of property, you're going to draw in the property lines. You're going to draw in your setbacks, whatever that setback might be. And we did talk about that depending on your zoning, you have different size setbacks. So we need that. And then in there is where you're going to sketch your house. Okay, why are we doing it this way? Because a lot of people have different ideas and they say, oh yeah, mister, I'm going to big a nice big 2,000 square foot home, and I'm gonna design it with a garage over here, and then I'm gonna put the kitchen space, and all this house is gonna be real nice, and I'm gonna add a little nook in the front, like a little breakfast nook and stuff, and then the porch, and everything looks good, and you're really happy with your design. And I wish I can do this here, but I don't know how to be able to move this thing. But sometimes students design this one and they start to fit it in the lot and it doesn't fit. Like, oh no, it's too wide, it's too big. So that's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. So that's why, and I did ask Mr. Iglesias to see if he agrees with me. You actually start with the site plan. The site plan is actually the first thing you do whenever you design a house, because you need to know how big of an area can I work with. And sometimes you come up with a real beautiful design and it's great, and you put it in the lot and it just doesn't fit. It's too wide. It's too whatever the case may be. So we want to do that. So in this case, that's why we're going to start with our house design, because we want to make sure that the house actually fits. So we're going to start with the house design. We're going to start with the site plan, property lines to scale, and then we're going to draw the setbacks to based on the zoning, and then we're going to start sketching out our house. Okay. So as far as the sketch of the house, it is going to be to scale, like I mentioned, and you're going to be using this criteria as far as these room sizes. Okay, so this is what you're going to be using. Now, I will tell you, I myself can't really come up with these ideas so too much. I'm not as I hate to say it, as creative, and I can't just come up with ideas out of the thin air. So sometimes I need to go look for floor plans. So you can Google floor plans, and there's nothing wrong with that. So you can go in there, Google floor plans, get an idea of houses. What are they? How do they? What do they look like? And is this a good layout? Will this work for me? Maybe you want to look at something a little bit more complicated or something a little bit simpler. I don't know. Maybe something as simple as this. Notice it's just a big box. Of course, this is only two bedrooms, and geez, this is very similar to the one that we did, except this is a two-story. And by the way, ours is going to be a single story for this design for my first year students. If you were a second year student, we can probably talk a little bit more about that. But let's just kind of get everything squared away with a one story, single level design for now. And then we can explore a two-story design Lego later. But first things first, let's get one done. So there's nothing wrong with looking at some designs, okay, to get ideas. Now, you really don't copy it. Don't just say, "Oh, well, this is it. I'm just going to copy the sketch and here it is." No, no, that's not the point. The point is for you to look at designs, get ideas, and you come up with a design for your house. Like this one. This has got a side entry garage. Um, that's actually kind of cool. I like side entry garages because from the front, what do you see from the front? From the front, you actually see um, you're going to see the porch and you're going to see the windows and stuff, but you don't necessarily see the garage doors. You'll see windows from the front too. So whenever you see have a side entry garage, what's nice for me, at least my personal opinion, is you don't see a big garage door. You see windows that are actually into the garage, and it just looks like part of the house. It doesn't look like the garage; it just looks like part of the house. So that's just my personal opinion. Again, just so many different designs that you can look at and see what works for you. Get ideas. You can Google so many and look at this one. This is a nice, pretty home. Of course, is a two-story, but there's nothing wrong with Googling house plans, so you can get an idea. Just don't copy it, please. That's not the point. But if you were to copy it for whatever reason, don't worry. I'm gonna change your design anyways because I'm gonna get you used to making changes. So once you come up with a beautiful design, more than likely I'm gonna change it on you anyway. So just come up with something cool on your own. You'll be surprised what you can come up with. Okay. So once again, this gives you some ideas on room sizes and everything. You can use that. You can use these room sizes. But nonetheless, the first things first is we need to draw our site plan in Revit, print it, and then we're going to start working with that to scale. A couple of things to consider for your design. When we're talking about square footage, and we have the sheet that says here, price per square foot, house of size of house, square feet of living space. Okay, this is something that is key to what we're going to be doing in here. Living space. What is considered living space? Okay, so living space, it's the area that you live in. Okay, and it's kind of weird to describe this, but you live in the bedrooms, of course. That's where you sleep. You live in the dining area. You actually, kind of weird, you live in the pantry. You actually live in the hallway. That is considered, strange enough, living space. Okay. What is not considered living space? All of these areas are considered, even walk-in closets. Yes, I really hope you don't sleep in the closet, but I'm not sure why, but that's still considered living space. What part is not considered living space? The only part that is not considered living space is the garage. Whether it's a single or double garage, even though I am asking for my house design to be a double garage, this is not considered living space. Typical people do not typically live in a garage. Um, Even though that is arguable, there could be a discussion that people convert their garages, but that's exactly what it is. It's a conversion. It was not meant to be a living space to begin with. So, because of that, that is not considered living space. That is not part of the size of the home. So, the 2,000, the 1,500 square feet does not include the garage, by the way. Okay, and for this exercise. In real life, it does. Whenever you talk about a home that's 2,000 square feet or 5,000 square feet, it does include the garage. But for our case, I do not want to include that garage space in our living space. Okay, so that's not going to be living space. Now, that's another thing to consider too, because I'm not telling you here, but another thing that exists as far as our design options is what's called a detached garage. So a lot of these homes, you notice, has a garage that's attached to the home where you can actually park in the garage, walk into the laundry room, or directly into the kitchen, whatever the case may be. And that's what's called attached to the home. Now, there is such a thing as a detached garage. Okay. And what a detached garage is, it's a garage that's separate from the home. You have the home, you have the bedrooms and porch, but separately is a garage. Okay. That's another option. That's another option and that's a very good option. We have actually several of those homes with detached garages here in El Paso. Um, it's just a personal preference. I kind of like the detached garage option because it's not part of the house. Um, it's just another option that's out there for detached garages, where it just looks like a separate building, but it's actually just another garage, a building, but it's actually a garage. Okay, so that's another option. Now that does need to be considered in our site plan. Whenever we're working with our site plan, we need to consider the fact that we have the living area, the living space. The living space has to be within the setbacks. I'm going to go back over here to the setbacks, and I need to cover this right now before we actually start designing, because everybody needs to be considerate of their design and how this is going to work. So let's say we have a house with an attached garage. Okay, let's say we have a house with an attached garage. Okay, whenever we have a house with an attached garage, the attached garage. I'm not sure why that pen got so big. The attached garage needs to be within the building setback. So this is our garage. I'm going to park my two cars in here. Oh, that's a horrible design of cars. And then from here, I'm going to put the rest of the house, and this is where I'm going to put the living space and living rooms and whatever in the rest of the house. So we have an attached garage. Once again, that does need to be within the building setbacks. Okay. What if I wanted a detached garage? Okay. If I have a detached garage, I can put the house here. This is where I have my front porch, and this is the house. Where can the detached garage be? Anywhere. Literally anywhere, except on easements. So I can put the detached garage back here. Can I put it right on the property line? You sure can, ladies and gentlemen. You can put the detached garage anywhere. Can it be outside the setbacks? Yes, it can. Why? This is not living space. You don't live in the garage. So the living space, um, whatever's inside the building setbacks is what needs to be um, in the living space. Okay. Now, why is that different? And again, where can I put the garage? Anywhere on your property. I can put it here. I can put it back on this corner if I want to. If I did that, then I can make myself, if I wanted to, a nice driveway along the side of my house. Um, and then back here, you can make a nice big wide driveway, or just a narrow driveway, and it kind of gets wider, things like that. Maybe you can make it a little bit bigger and make that driveway a slash basketball court. There's so many different options that you can do for a detached garage, which is why I kind of like detached garages. But that's just, again, my personal preference. But why is the detached garage? Why is that able to be put outside the building setbacks? Is the next question I've had before from students. And that's a very legitimate question. Let me sketch back the setbacks. Whenever we have an attached garage, the attached garage is part of does need to be within the building setback. So let's say I have an attached garage that's attached to the house. So this is the garage, and then the rest of the house is the kitchen, the living room, and bedrooms, and all that stuff. Okay. The reason the attached garage is it has to be inside the building setbacks is because a lot of people convert their garage into living space. They make the garage into a big bedroom. They make it into a game room, another den, and then they even sometimes take off the garage doors and put windows in the front. Okay? Because that happens so much, and if the garage was outside the building setbacks, well, once it becomes living space, then it's against the zoning code. You'll have living space outside the building setbacks. So because of the fact that a lot of people convert their garages that's attached to the house, and it's pretty easy because it's attached, you can actually go from the kitchen to the garage, and if you make it into a dining room or whatever space, then it becomes living space. So once it becomes living space, it needs to be inside the building setbacks. Okay. Whenever you have a detached garage, that's a lot harder to do to make it into living space, even though people do it all the time. Okay. So, that becomes a little bit more debatable. But whenever you have a detached garage, that you have your building setbacks, and you have, let me just pick a different color here. You have your house here. And then, like I mentioned earlier, a detached garage over here that's outside the building setbacks. That's a little bit harder to make it into a living room or den because it's not easily accessible from the home. So that's why it's, most of the time, this is going to stay as a garage. This will be a garage, and it will stay as a garage most of the time. Okay. Of course, people do, I hate to say this, illegal construction and convert this into a legal apartment or a living room, but it's kind of harder to detect. So that's why, it's just, it's illegal, and it's a little easier to do, unfortunately. But if it becomes living space, then it's just a little bit harder to detect, and it's kind of hard to tell if that really is indeed living space. But nonetheless, the rule is if it's a detached garage, it does not have to be inside the building setbacks. If it's attached, it does need to be within the building setbacks. It's just worth noting that because on your house design, it depends on what you're going to pick. If you're going to pick a home with a detached garage, by all means, go ahead. Just make sure you follow that criteria. If you're going to if you're going to do a home with a attached garage, not a problem there either. Just make sure that you pick one with a good floor plan that fits nicely. But once again, the garage area does need to be within the building setbacks. Okay. Um, Now, one other thing to mention: whenever we're designing homes, let me tell you some of the how can I say it? The big no nos in house design. Okay, this happens a lot, but again, these are and there is, by the way, such a thing as bad house design. I know of a personal friend of mine that has a house in Houston, and I'll tell you right now, it's a bad design. I don't like it. There's areas of the home that has no function. It's kind of hard to tell is that you're standing in the house, and it's kind of weird. It's almost like the first floor. I can probably sketch it. The first floor. Let me see. I think it's the kitchen like this, and then it's like a big area like this type of thing. It's almost like an L shape. Okay, and over here there's a room here, and then here's the entry. Okay, so here, this is the kitchen. There's like an island, and it's a pretty big space, but there's an island back in here, and this is the kitchen over here. It's got countertops and everything and a sink. Okay, well, here it's kind of hard to tell. They have a dining room, but it's such a big area that the dining room, and it's not a small dining room table. It's pretty big. It seats 8 people, but it's such a big space that it's over here, and this is where the chairs are at. Okay, and then here is the living room. Once again, it's such a big space, even with a big couch. There's a living room with the couches here, and this is the seating area with the couches. And I don't even remember where he has his TV. It's kind of weird, but that's the thing is, what is this space here? It's weird. There's no function to it. And I even asked her, so is this like am I standing in the dining room and the living room? I don't know. I guess whatever you need it to be. Well, that's wasted space. There's no function to it. So that's a bad design. In my opinion, every square foot of your home needs to have a function. Remember, if you're paying $160 a square foot, $110 a square foot, a 10 by 10 space at even $100 a square foot, that's $10,000 of, I don't know. It's just I'm standing there, and I'm just, so what is this? I don't know. I guess it's the living room, but is it the dining room? I don't know. Man, that's a whole lot of I don't know. Okay, and that's horrible. That happens so much. Okay, so there is such a thing as bad design. Every square foot should have a function to it. Okay, could this have been maybe another room, maybe, or something? Probably. I don't know. But again, you want to make sure that every square foot has function. A lot of students have, and this custom home design criteria, I actually made these smaller because I got this from another teacher some years ago. The rooms were way bigger, and when the students were using these bigger rooms, they were ending up with all this space of, I don't know. And then you sometimes the students that have a big restroom, oh my god, mister, I'm gonna put a big restroom and all these dreams and stuff, and then you put in a sink, and then you put in a water closet with the toilet and a tub over here in the corner, and that's it. And I'm like, so what is all this there? But no, sé, mister, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? That's a whole lot of I don't know. So again, there is no function to it. So unless you can come up with a really cool bathroom design, you shouldn't be doing anything really, really big. Okay. Now, could you do a separate, like maybe a tub in the middle type of thing, a bigger tub with like steps coming up to it, and maybe a couple of several steps, and let's see, a couple of steps. Geez, I think I had a student one time say that they wanted an aquarium. You know, once again, If there's a design to it, then yes, that's not a problem. It's not a problem. Or maybe, let me see, where you can do a separate, let me, hold on. I just thought of something. Where you can do maybe a separate shower type of thing, maybe with the entrance over here, and then it's a shower, maybe a two-person shower, a his and her shower, and then steps coming up to the tub over here in the corner type of thing. You know, when you start coming up with designs like this and filling up the space, that is good design. But the problem is, if you don't have anything left, this is bad design. If you have no purpose for it, that's just a bad design home. It happens all the time. One of the big no-nos. Okay. Another one that happens a lot. Students are designing a house. They have a corner of the house over here, and you have a bedroom here, and another bedroom over here, and then a bedroom here. Okay. And then the design continues, and I ask him, what is this? Oh, pues es el pasillo, mister. It's the hallway. Okay. So that's your hallway. Very nice. Where does it go? So, oh, we would ask, okay, so where the door's going to be? Oh, the doors are going to be here to the bedrooms, mister. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm walking in the hallway. I'm here and I'm going to here. I don't go in here and I don't go in here. I just decide to continue and I just walk to here. Where do I go? Pues no sé. What do you mean? So it's a hallway to nowhere? I guess. This happens a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do that. Don't give me a hallway to nowhere. And it's going to happen. I can guarantee one or two students are going to be on this, watching this video right now, are going to do that. Again, there is no purpose for this. This has no purpose. It's a hallway to nowhere. Don't do that. Okay. What could you have done there? Well, maybe for whatever reason you wanted to have a door to the outside from here. Okay. Well, there we go. Now we have a purpose of that. Kind of weird though. Why would you want to have a door close to the bedrooms? I don't know why, but if you have a function for it or a purpose, great. Maybe there's a pool back here and you want to be able to get from the pool to the bedrooms. Okay, now we have a purpose. But not just because, no, pues I'm just going to put a door. For what? I don't know. The phrase of I don't know doesn't work very well in house design. Actually, it doesn't work very well in much of anything that we do. What other thing could we have done here? Maybe what you could do is block off the hallway here, cut this in half, and make a closet for each room. Ah, now we have purpose. So now here we can have doorways coming in to the bedroom. So you have a nice square bedroom. The closet for this bedroom is over here. The closet for this bedroom is right here. Okay. So now we have purpose. You want to make sure every space has a purpose. Okay. Please avoid hallways to nowhere. Please avoid just those weird things. Okay. But hallways to nowhere or not having a purpose. Another thing that happens so much, you have a bedroom and you do all these other things. And by the way, what makes a room a bedroom? The rule is a closet. If a room does not have a closet, it is not classified as a bedroom. Okay. So then I might come back to you and say, what is this room? Oh, it's a bedroom, mister. No, it's not. See, but that's on the bedroom. Oh, but where's the closet? Oh, that's okay, mister. I got it. It's right here. I'm gonna put the closet right here in the corner. Horrible. That is the worst thing you can do. A nice squared or rectangular bedroom now became L shaped. By doing that, you're reducing the area where you can put a bed, you can put furniture, a TV. Don't do that, please. This happens so much. Once again, bad design. To me, whenever I see this, and I do see it in real life, oh, it's because they forgot to put it in a closet. Oh, yeah, let me just put it here, Mr. Aista. Don't worry about it. And you watch. There's going to be people watching this video right now. They're going to do that. Don't do that, please. That is just not, it's poor planning. Okay. That happens a lot and it's pretty annoying. Okay. So on part of your design, make sure that you figure out a space where you can kind of maybe tuck in the closet over here, or maybe this was a big restroom and maybe you're going to make this into the restroom for the hallway. And then maybe the rest of this over here is going to be a closet to the bedroom. Ah, now we got a better function. Okay. So again, all these little things are things that can happen as far as bad designs. Is there bad designs? I mentioned all the time. Okay. So yours is not going to be a bad design. Our next video will explain how we're going to do our site plan.